Sir, given that the oil prices have pared back, why is inflation still at quite a record high? Does this mean that the supply side issues have not been addressed?
Yeah, because it has a lag, no? Like for instance, food production, like now, rice farming, very few farmers use the animal carabao, cow de carabao tilling. They use tractors, no, for harvesting. They don't use manual harvest. Use harvester tracer combiner machines. So a lot of these machines now use a lot of diesel. That is why what the Philippines can do actually is to cut back the oil taxes. No? Like diesel, it used to be before the train, the tax on diesel was zero. And with train, it went up to 6 pesos. I think that people have to realize that oil is not a public bad. Oil is a public good, it's a useful commodity, and the tax should be zero. Although I think officials realize that they just need more tax money because of the high borrowings and high deficit situation of the government.
But at the same time, I mean, making changes to those tax laws is going to require some time for that to actually put in place. So given that, what else can the government do, or are they left with no other choices here to actually help address inflation, considering that in the latest survey, inflation turns out to be the biggest concern of Filipinos? At the same time, they are not satisfied with how the government is handling this.
Yeah, there are other contributions to inflation, like for instance, the various government permits, like any government additional permit, etc., and the unnecessary apprehensions like the income, etc. They eat up on the supposed income of the people. So I think the people should pull back. Government should pull back on those unnecessary restrictions and regulations. And I think that the lesson here for the monetary authorities is that despite the increase in central bank rates from 2% until about February, March, is now 4.25%. It has not put a dent. It has not really successfully controlled inflation. Although the central bank can say that, but it would have been worse if we didn't raise the interest rate. That might be a point. But the main point is that continued increase in central bank rates has not controlled inflation. There should be solutions somewhere else aside from increasing government central bank policy rates.
Will dole outs still do the trick? The likes of Pantawid Pasada, do we even have enough fiscal space for that?
I think those are very stopgap measures because inflation is a result of supply demand. That means the demand is high and supply is not responding enough. So the government, Philippine businesses and Philippine entrepreneurs should produce more, no? And I think from everything from food to construction materials, government should find ways to facilitate the increase further production of those goods and services in order to cool down prices. Supply must increase relative to demand. That's the main way to cut inflation.
Sir, before we let you go, assessment of President BBM's first 100 days in office, he had promised that his main objective was to fight inflation and also prop up the agricultural sector. Those were his immediate urgent concerns. What can you say about that?
Well, in a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being excellent, I would say they made something like 7. No?
Okay.
Like for instance, an inflation until August, our inflation 6.3% was only 4 years high. And at that time, South Korea has 24 years high inflation. For September, for instance, Germany at 10% has 70 years high inflation rate. UK and US have 40 years inflation rate. Our 6.9% inflation in September was only 13 years high, the highest since 2009, because if we reached 6.8, it would have been 4 years high only because that was the level of October 2018. So, but if you look at the jump in month-on-month inflation, Indonesia has increased by 1.1 percentage point from August to September. Vietnam another 1.0%. Philippines is only 0.3% increase in month-on-month. So I think that in terms of controlling inflation, to a certain extent, this administration was able to temper. It could have been worse, than possible.